Welcome to It's On Halifax with your hosts, Mark Adam and Pat King. It's On Halifax is brought to you by A2 Canada and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of It's On Halifax. That's almost perfectly timed. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Mark Adam. Sitting with me is the ever-present, well, except for that time he was in Japan, Pat King.
Ever-present and proficient in nunchucks.
Really?
Yeah.
You know how to use nunchucks?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
That is awesome.
I picked up a padded pair while I was in Japan. I'll have to show you one of these days when you stop by the apartment.
A padded pair so that you can beat people up?
Well, it's so that I don't hit myself.
Oh, yes.
Because that's still a danger. I'm sure even Bruce Lee did it from time to time.
Yeah, but that wouldn't feel good.
No. No.
No. But, yeah, so, another week, another show.
Hooray!
What happened this week?
What happened this week?
What happened with this week that was of note? Other than the fact that the NHL canceled 2 more weeks of games and the All-Star game. But
haven't you just given up on that yet?
No, I've given up on it. I'm just keep updating people on the I told you so. Like, this is not happening, people. Start liking the Mooseheads, get into football, figure it out.
I like how the NFL is making like formal, or the NHL is making formal announcements about the cancellations of games like anyone fucking cares anymore at all. You know what, guys? Sorry, there's not going to be any more games. Yeah, we know. Like, just piss off.
Yeah, we're well aware. Yeah. Thank you for ruining us.
Have you been to any of the Mooseheads games lately? You went to one last week, did you not?
I did. I went to the Friday night game of last week, and it was pretty good. It was only 3-3 going into the third. We weren't sure what was going to happen there. So, turns out they woke up in the third and scored 5 goals and won 8-3. So, yeah. Cool. The game, the last I saw today, they were losing 3-0 to the Wildcats in Moncton right now.
Oh.
Yeah, they're playing in Moncton, so. But that was the last tweet I saw. What else happened this week? Anything of note? What happened to you, personally?
Personally, well, I've just been...
I've started at the gym.
I did start at the gym, and that's why I crawled in here. It's difficult. It's not like... It's not the usual gym I go to. No one's hitting each other, which is strange to me. No one's concussed at any point. It's amazing. But it's certainly a different kind of work ethic. I've had to do research. I was given homework.
What do you got to do? Go weigh yourself? And
No. It's just kind of learning about compound movements and targeting particular muscle groups, doing exercises that target as many muscle groups as possible, correcting the damage that my call center job is doing to me, where I sit for 8 hours, 9 hours a day on top of what I sit at home in front of the computer.
And right now
I'm doing plenty. Well, right now sitting here doing a podcast, and
mind you, it's a much more comfy couch.
Yes,
than,
it's a wonderful
than
couch.
your office chair would be typically.
Yes. Actually, it's a kitchen chair. I don't have an office chair. I generally just use fold-out chairs. It's just the worst. And I was sitting down last night recording Classy Nads. We got a backlog together for the Christmas season, and I was sitting down editing together a promo video for the arcade.
Yes, which I'm excited. When is that going to air?
Well, the tournament is on Tuesday, so we're hoping to have it out by Monday so tomorrow at the absolute latest. I'll likely go home and keep working on it immediately after I'm done here. So I've been kind of going non-stop, and it's frazzling me a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes that's good, though.
Yeah.
Stay busy.
That's true.
Speaking of Christmas, I'm not a Grinch.
I am.
But, well,
fuck Christmas.
I like Christmas.
Shut
but
up.
I don't like Christmas in fucking November.
Yeah, that should.
I really don't. When I walk into a mall and the music's playing and you're like, it's Christmas music and it's in November. Like, people... Christmas has simply become about how much money can we squeeze out of families that can't afford it.
Yep.
Like, and I'm not a big hippie, whatever, like, Christmas should... Like, I understand that people want to give people gifts and, that's the spirit of the season, but if you can't get that done between December 1st and December 25th, That is way too huge of a first world problem for me.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I've kind of given up on the whole Christmas thing. I've told my family, like, I'm not going to participate in the gift giving. That's just not going to happen. But my parents every year still insist on buying me things. And I always tell them, all right, well, if you're going to buy me anything, don't try and surprise me because you don't know me at all, really. Like, we don't share any common interests. So I'll generally just give them a list of things I desperately need or things like a new mic so I can podcast without having to spend money every week renting gear, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I get a text from my sister a couple of days ago asking me if I would like a 32-inch flat screen TV because they were on for super cheap. That's the kind of thing my parents would buy me. And I had to tell her again, like, no, that's not, I don't need that at all. And I don't care how cheap it is, it's probably garbage. I did go online and look it up. It was one of the TVs that were selling at Walmart on Black Friday, the Emerson TVs.
Oh, yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, not
everywhere I read on the internet said that the TVs didn't have more than a year's life left in them at all. They would just crap out.
That's why they're trying to sell them all off.
Exactly. They would just crap out between.
As soon as Halloween's over, it's just Christmas, right? And all of the sales, even Thanksgiving, like, it's a holiday. We're having a holiday sale. It's all like, so come buy your Christmas presents.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Cyber Monday earlier.
Which is, because I just learned about it today. Explain.
I only learned about it last week. It's kind of the counterpart to Black Friday. Black Friday is the biggest shopping day of the year. Cyber Monday is the internet's answer. A lot of sales on any really internet-based company. So if you are one of those people who goes online to buy their things, gifts and whatever, you go on ThinkGeek or you go on Amazon, check it out. But it really just ties into all those Thanksgiving, Black Friday, pre-Christmas deals.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically you just go online and save money on presents that you will have shipped to you before Christmas.
You hopefully have shipped to you before Christmas.
It's
a gamble.
The whole thing is designed to basically take your money and take your family's monies that, like I said, can't afford it necessarily.
Yeah, joke's on you assholes. I don't have money to take.
Yeah, can't get blood from a stone.
So there. I should learn to crochet and just give those out for Christmas gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I made you a photo.
I got
them printed.
I made you a coaster that I found at Adam's house on his coffee table.
It's made of cardboard.
I pretty much give photos every Christmas to my family.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I do it to make money already, so...
Yeah, it's obviously valuable to someone. I have been going through a lot of the photos that I took in Japan, and a lot of the photos that I've had sitting on my hard drive forever to put a portfolio together with, and my parents generally express some like for some of them anyway. My mother does. That might be the route I take this year. Look at these refs getting soaked.
During the Miami game, all the sprinklers went off. They had to delay the game for a little bit.
Oh, these guys are loving it though.
It was funny.
The players are just wallowing in it.
Well, they're in Miami.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. This time of year, though, I can't imagine Miami's still quite that hot.
It's
still pretty warm, and if you're running around in all that gear.
Yeah. It's like summer here now.
Wow.
As opposed to summer in Miami, which is probably ridiculous. Frickin' hot. Frickin' hot's the word. But the Dolphins won that game. I didn't know that. That's cool. Anyway, I'm a big NFL fan, more so even this year than other years because I don't have hockey to focus on. So.
And you're not sour about that at all.
No.
It's not like you mention it every podcast.
It's not like I mention it every opportunity given, but here we are. Yeah. But yeah, but the Christmas thing is just ridiculous, I think. Like, the city putting decorations up in November, alright, so that they're available for the Parade of Lights or whatever, right?
Mm.
But after that, beyond that, like, it's not necessary. It's just not, I don't care.
I even put decorations up in my apartment.
Christmas decorations?
I fucking hate Christmas.
You put Christmas decorations up already?
Yeah.
I'm waiting till December 1st.
And see, that's Yeah, I like I said, I'm not a Grinch. I love Christmas. I like the whole feel of it, and the warm-heartedness and all that stuff. But it doesn't need to be extended. It doesn't need to be extended.
No, it really doesn't.
Like, there's a whole month for it, a whole month, and because you take that feeling right into January.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, because you've got the New Year and everything.
Yeah, New Year, the holidays, it's huge. I don't know. I just think people are greedy.
I made a compromise, essentially, was that I expressed my displeasure in participating in the whole gift-giving things. My parents still insist that we all kind of sit down Christmas morning and open up our gifts, which has become my least favorite part of the whole ordeal. So I made the compromise that I will go home and I will not act like an asshole for like 3 days. I'll just be happy and I'll help you cook and we'll have big meals and whatever, and I'll drink brandy and eggnog for 3 days, and I'll generally just be really, really loving and then go home before everyone starts to piss me off too much.
Yeah. There's the thing that I've done that the last couple of years in my family is, don't buy me a gift because I'm not buying you anything.
Yeah.
Financial obligation, the financial burden of Christmas is awful.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's like, well, you gotta buy for your parents, you gotta buy for your siblings,
Well,
you gotta buy for your girlfriend, you gotta buy for your boyfriend, you gotta buy for your whatever, like your niece, your nephew, your whatever, like.
Well, bad enough we've got
aunts,
the financial burden of a bad economy.
Well, there's that, yeah. Like, it's hard enough to pay the rent without spending an extra $1,000 because it's Christmas,
Yeah, just because.
And there are families who feel pressured to buy gifts for their kids to the point where they don't know how they're going to pay the heating bill. They don't know how they're going to pay the rent.
When did holidays become non-denominational?
Well, well, that they became non-denominational when people figured out that you could make money off of them.
Amen, brother.
Valentine's Day. What the fuck is that?
Awful holiday.
Oh, it's an awful holiday. Here is a day to make you feel shitty about being single, or if you are in a relationship, to suck the money out of every account you own to make one other person feel special one day of the year when you really ought to be doing that every other day of the year. It's like, hey, reminder, you non-romantic piece of shit. Be romantic this one day.
Yeah, when was the last time you bought flowers, you useless prick?
Yeah. It's like, when I'm in a relationship, I do that stuff when I think about it. It's not like...
I do it when I fuck
I don't
up.
need it... Well, there's a lot of that, too. Flowers are kind of the I'm sorry gift of any relationship.
Or chocolate. Chocolate's good, too.
Yeah. Chocolate.
Chocolate's good, too.
Women.
Emily's giving us some insight into the women's psyche. Chocolate's good,
chocolate
too.
and flowers?
We'll take chocolate. We'll take chocolate. What?
If I can eat it, it's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Won't even go there.
Nope. Anyway, moving on. Just holidays in general are
even
they don't mean what they mean anymore. Like Memorial Day, like President's Day, all these things that they're trying to monetize them and make money off of. Like, it's a day to remember our veterans. We're having a Veterans Day sale. Come buy more shit. Like, what?
I didn't even realize. Oh yeah, Memorial Day sales. Fuck that. Holidays.
That's what I'm saying.
Christmas cheer. But we can all agree that there is one good thing about holidays, and it's Charlie Brown specials.
Boom.
Yes.
The thing you just said.
Yes.
Sign
me
up.
up. Christmas movies in general.
Yeah, and even the Halloween Charlie Brown special beat one of the episodes of like X Factor or something in the ratings this year. I mean, just trounced it.
Yeah, and it's the same as the same episode you watch every single year.
Exactly.
And same with the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
I love
it's the same half-hour special every year. Every year.
Mm-hmm. Because it's timeless.
The Rudolph claymation.
I love that. That's my favorite.
The same every year.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. The same
my
every
favorite
year.
Christmas movie.
Timeless, classic Christmas movie.
Yeah, it really is. And the second one was on Christmas as well, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. Die Hard 1 and 2.
You know what I don't understand with Christmas movie? The
what's
Wizard
that?
of Oz.
How's the Wizard of Oz a Christmas movie?
That's not a Christmas movie.
But it plays every Christmas.
That's strange.
What? Where? When?
On
What?
TV.
Really?
It's on every Christmas.
I have never. This is something I have never noticed.
And Neptune did it a couple years ago as their Christmas show.
I'm really glad that they're doing Elf instead this year.
Elf, the musical.
Why? You don't like Elf?
Because it was an awful movie to begin with.
Oh, I disagree very strongly with that.
That was Zooey Deschanel, right?
And Will Ferrell.
I'm less impressed with Will Ferrell in that particular movie. Zooey Deschanel is one of the cutest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
I put her up there with Jewel Staite from Firefly. Kaylee?
Ooh,
Super cute.
I don't agree with
Super
that
cute.
at all. I think Jewel Staite owns her in every way.
That's fair.
I would marry her in a second.
Yeah.
She's giving me fuzzies right now.
Speaking of which,
she's on my Twitter. I follow her on
Emily
Twitter.
Emily and I have been watching the Firefly series.
I just finished it last week.
I know you ran way ahead with it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you were like, screw it, I'm watching every episode.
I didn't mean to. I mean,
of course you didn't. It's
Firefly.
It happens.
I watched the last 6 episodes
back to back.
I had to work the next day. I think it was a Thursday, and I watched one, and I thought, okay, well, I got to watch the next one because that was pretty heavy. They're probably going to mention what happened in the next episode. I watch it. You know what? I'll just watch one more before bed. That's okay.
The last one we watched was the Message. Was it the? Yeah, it was The Message with Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tracy.
Their old war buddy that pretended to be dead.
Pretended to be dead, and they get him in a package.
Yeah. So
it's a great one.
Yeah, like that The Message and Out of Gas.
Yes, Out of Gas was outstanding.
Out of Gas is amazing.
And because Out of Gas was my favorite episode for a couple of reasons. One, the heartstring pulling.
Mm-hmm. It really showed Malcolm's character.
It really did.
Very strongly.
Well, then again, so did what was it? The second one with Nishka, when him and Wash got kidnapped.
Yep.
That really showed his character too.
Beautiful.
But the Out of Gas, you found out a lot more about the backstories of a lot of the characters.
You should check out once you're done watching the series. I think last month they had a special. It was a reunion of all of the characters. It was
nice.
Browncoats Unite. It was called. It was a special where they all got together and had a big panel and just discussed their experiences on the show and what they thought of the fan base and everything like that. I just finished downloading it.
And you know what? I'm gonna yell at Fox for a second.
Oh,
because fuck you guys. Fox cancels the best shows. Terra Nova was amazing.
It was all right.
It had a great storyline and it was really going somewhere. Like, and they just opened everything up at the very end of the season. It just like it was really epic, and it's like, holy crap, the world is ending, and that is kind of topical because it's where we're going.
And I was talking to Josh yesterday about Sliders. When they originally aired Sliders on Fox, the first season, you were watching them on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Did you find anything strange about the episodes and the way that they were ordered,
No, not yet.
Because apparently Netflix aired them the way Fox aired them. And Fox aired them out of order to try and jam a lot of the action-y ones
in the beginning
to get people hooked on the show. But essentially they aired them at episodes 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 4, 5, 9, like 8, 9 or something. Yeah, it just ridiculous. It was like Fox was doing everything they could to bury the show.
How long did Sliders last?
That was like 4 seasons?
I think so.
4 seasons, I think. It should have went on for longer. Anyway, my interview with John Rice Davies is available. It's episode 12, the hal-con episode.
The video is
great. He actually, John Rice Davies, the professor from Sliders, he actually explains, what the problem was.
And he does it much more eloquently and entertainingly than we will. So
yeah,
just
go watch that episode 12 if you haven't seen it. John Rice Davies, that interview was one, amazing and so much fun for me, but 2, enlightening and hilarious.
Like, it really was.
He was really funny, but he was making really valid points in his humor, and it was like, wow, like I didn't look at it that way.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from Firefly showed up at hal-con one of these years, sometime soon.
Well,
So cool.
Yes, it would.
I think you'd see attendance of hal-con as good as it already is jump just a touch.
It would be unbelievable.
There'd be a few thousand people there, literally just for that.
And
I think so.
Nathan Fillion these days is kind of a busy man, but he is no stranger to the con circuit, so it's not really unreasonable.
By the way, we received a compliment on our hal-con coverage. Someone involved in the organization told us that it was the most comprehensive coverage of the entire con.
Oh, look at that!
And you know who else was there? Space. The Space Network was there.
Really?
And apparently kicked Space's ass.
Well, because what they do is they put together a show with all the cons.
Oh,
so they have like a section from hal-con, so it's like a 10 to 15 minute like section. Whereas ours was 15 minutes, and we talked to all the big names that were there.
Yep, got shouted out on background noise as well.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
They discussed the interview with John Royce Davies.
That was actually John Roy brought it up. John Roy from Geeks vs. Nerds brought it up when they were the guests on background noise. So that was cool.
That was a great episode as well.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's from background noise really cracked me up. I've been doing a lot of email work at work, which essentially frees me up from the phone so I can pop in a pair of headphones. And I've been catching up on a huge backlog of background noise and Geeks vs. Nerds the last couple of weeks.
I had a lot of fun when I was the guest on their show. That was a fun week.
I'd love to pop in. I was talking to Derek today about hip-hop of all things.
He's a huge hip-hop and basketball fan. You wouldn't know it to look at the guy.
No? Well, I mean, you wouldn't expect me to be a huge hip-hop fan either.
Oh, well, that's true.
The whitest guy in the room. Well, not counting Emily because she's not a guy, but she's super white too.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. Everybody looks at me and goes, jock. Or like, you know what I mean? But I did musical theater for 3 years as my living. That's how I made rent.
Yeah, I mean, no one would ever expect you were a homosexual.
Oh, fucking stab you.
That was an easy one, though.
I know. That's the thing.
I had to take it.
I like being in the theater world. People assume you have to be gay to do that.
Oh yeah.
So people don't look at me and go, "Oh, that guy's a theater geek." But you know what I mean? Like, I've been the lead in a lot of plays. I literally did musical theater, and like dinner theater and stuff like that for 3 years. I did that to pay my rent. So I made my living by singing and dancing, you know what I mean, acting, and that was 3 awesome years. Would I do it again? It's tough to make money that way. It's you have to be very busy a lot of the time in order to make that happen. But it was a lot of fun. I don't know. Would I do it again? Give up the job I have now? That's the security, and you know, it's decently paying, and you know what I mean?
I mean, would you do it again in that situation at that time?
I do it over. If I could go back and do it again, I'd do it over again. Hell yeah.
Okay.
And I'd do more. Yeah. I'd do it bigger, right? Like, it was, but people don't look at me. They think I'm some jock that, you know, is sports and that's it. That's all I know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I find it interesting to get people's opinions as far as first impressions of me go. Because they're just like, I don't really know how to figure you out. You're a fucking weird dude.
And that was one of the things, like, I wasn't sure when the first thing that you and I worked on,
Zombie Detective.
Yes, and that was my first impression of you. And so, like, a couple of years later, I start doing this thing with A2 Film with Adam Ridler, and I was like, well, I work with this guy, and he seemed really passionate about it, and he seemed really like into the idea of you know, doing this stuff. I wonder if he would want to help. And so I sort of reached out to you on Facebook, and you were like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, awesome. And I had no idea how it was going to go or like what was going to happen.
And this is the first time I'm hearing this story, everybody. So I'm
yeah, but then you showed up, and you were, well, the first thing was you showed up.
Yeah. Well, 90% of anything is just showing up, right?
And that, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, he showed up. Cool. Let's do this. And then the camera work that you did, because you did the camera work for us for the pilot episode of Players.
Which, is that up yet?
No. I got to fix the audio. There's some audio tweaks that need to be fixed.
Right.
But then I'll get it up and circulate it. I'm excited about it.
Me too. Get that the fuck up.
I know. Anyway, so that was kind of the deal, and
long story short, here I am.
Yeah, and it's been like a year since we did that.
Oh, really?
Since we started.
Oh, god damn it! I'm gonna turn a quarter century years old in probably 2 months.
In less than 2 months, I will be 30.
You're sorry I said anything.
Someone's old. Thank you, Emily. That's so mean. Anyway, I'm okay with it. I've come to terms, I think, with it. I think. Well, I mean, turning 28, you're getting there. You're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do when I turn 30? Now it's like 2 months away, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You've hit 30, but you've carved out a decent kind of niche for yourself.
Yeah, I've done some stuff in my life. I did a lot of things. I've probably done every job that you can do without more than a high school diploma.
Yeah, I've done some weird shit.
Right? Like, I've been a janitor. I've been tech support. I built computers. I sold computers. I've
done a lot of that.
I worked at a gas station. Yeah. I worked at a grocery store as a cashier, as a grocer, like one of the helpers that are on the floor during open hours. I did back shift. I worked at Dairy Queen. I did fast food at Burger King for a year. See, I never went out west and did any of that stuff. I did everything.
It was interesting. I learned how to drive an ATV, which was pretty bitchin'.
I already knew how to do that.
I did not.
They're a lot of fun.
I was not that kind of kid. Not at all.
Well, I didn't have the opportunity a lot, but I have a buddy that we used to go to his place all the time. And when I was a kid, we used to go skidooing when we visited my grandparents in Ontario. I learned how to
drive one of those as well. Cause, I mean,
they're very similar.
Out in Edmonton, those are fun. It gets snowy.
Yeah, they're almost identical in the way that they function.
Yeah, essentially.
But the difference is the handling of them.
Exactly.
Skidoos.
I had a lot more fun on the skidoo.
Yeah.
They handle more like a jet ski than anything.
Yeah, as opposed to a motorcycle that you can't tip over.
Mm.
I say can't tip over, but I don't mean can't tip over. I mean are very difficult to tip over.
I even worked as a video game tester. Every little kid's dream.
I did beta testing too. I did some of that.
It's a lot of fun. Not as glamorous as I might have thought when I was a teenager.
No, especially when you have to pause and be like, okay, and you got to write down all the glitches and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay, this is what I did.
Yeah, here's what I did. Was supposed to These were my 10 keystrokes going into this particular problem.
This is how I got to it. Or you get little tickets that say, okay, somebody found this glitch, recreate it. So you spend 25 minutes trying to do that, and you're playing a half-broken game, like a half-built game.
Yep.
Well, I mean, at least I got to smoke a shitload of weed. So, I mean, out in BC, if you're going to do it. And EA had wicked facilities. They had restaurants of 3 or 4 different types, like, I'm talking Asian cuisine, continental, good old burgers, whatever. They offered unlimited overtime. They would even let you sleep overnight in the lobby. They had this big lobby with a bunch of huge couches big enough for sleeping in, and yeah, got to meet some pretty cool people out there. I wish I could have stayed. Vancouver is a hell of a nice city, but we were talking earlier, the economy.
It's
not
expensive.
Really the kind of place. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
not
one of
really
those...
the kind of place. If I can hardly afford living in Halifax. I got a buddy that moved out
there. Worked as a security guard for EA. Overnight.
It's got to be the least fun job at EA.
And then became one of the main characters on the television show Defying Gravity.
Oh, I love that show.
I love that show too, and it got canceled after 13 episodes. Ron Livingston, the guy, one of the main characters from Office Space, one of the main characters from Band of Brothers.
Yeah, man.
He was in it. Pardon me.
That's another thing I have to watch.
What's that?
Band of Brothers.
Yeah, no, you definitely do.
No, I've seen an episode. I think I saw one episode just right in the middle of it, and I just thought to myself, like, holy shit, this is...
It's epic. Every episode is a movie.
Yeah.
But there's 10 episodes. Oh. And then there's The Pacific, which is a follow-up to and it's the same exact thing.
Bought that for my brother last year on Blu-ray box set.
Yeah, and that was pretty good.
Beautiful.
That was Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg.
So he ended up a character actor in some show after being a security guard at EA.
Yeah. Well, he went out there to become an actor, right? So he was going to auditions all left, right, and center, working as a security guard for EA at night to make money to pay the rent. Then he got on this series, and it was pretty good. And then he actually was one of the main characters in Battlestar Galactica's webisodes.
The Blood and Chrome or the other ones?
No,
from the original series.
Yeah, from the original. No,
well, the reboot. Sorry,
from the reboot. It was I forget the name of it, but it was like a web series, like a mini series, where they were stranded on this Face of the Enemy.
What's his name?
Faces of the Enemy. William C. Vaughn.
I need to look up his face.
Yeah, he was a really good friend of mine, and he moved out west. Whenever he comes into town, we always go for drinks, usually at the ale house.
Well, I had a good laugh when I was at this gym. I was going through the orientation, and this kid who was helping me out and showing me around, Dimitri was his name, he was talking about how his sister married Kenan Thompson of Saturday Night Live.
Nice.
And said, you know, he comes around Halifax every now and again and hangs out, and he's a really nice guy, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, we've got celebrities like that just kicking around Halifax from time to time.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Halifax. Nev Campbell has a condo here.
Really?
Yeah, Bishop's Landing. I worked on a movie with Nev Campbell a bunch of years ago. Seawolf. The cat is playing with his little bell ball.
He's having a lot of fun. Leave him alone. Lex.
Yeah.
Check him out on Twitter.
Halifax Lex. Speaking of Twitter, you might as well check us out on Twitter. I'm Mark Adam HFX.
I'm Pat King HFX.
And our controller Emily is MJ_979.
You say anything and I'll throw something at you.
Anyway, tweet her.
Yeah.
Suggestions for a new name. Anyway, let's take a quick break.
Hooray.
And then we'll be back.
Can I dip into your rum?
Yeah, we'll dip into the rum. Apparently, 'tis the season.
For rum?
We need eggnog.
It's always the season.
Yeah,
for
eggnog,
rum.
man.
It's always the season for rum. Shut up.
Now, spiced whiskey or brandy and eggnog?
Spiced rum and eggnog.
Oh, so good.
I've never had... I'm not a nog fan. I don't like... Anyway.
You don't nog?
I don't nog.
Oh.
We can talk about that when we get back, though. Also, coming up is this week's segment, Why Is That a Thing?
Oh, I missed that segment. We missed it last week, and we had something, too.
I know. I actually said, why is that a thing? I went on a bit of a rant, and why is that a thing came out, and we never ran with it. But this week, we do have one. We'll be back. Check it out on Facebook if you're watching live. Go to Facebook, get caught up on what this week is, and get your comments in there. We'll be back.
Word up.
You want your special day to be just right, right? Well, so did I. I called A2 Canada, and all the little details took care of themselves. An audio-video setup, photographer, and even a videographer, all working as a team to capture the memories I cared about. Oh, and I saved a bundle by getting them all in the same place. You should try it.
A2 Canada. Professionalism you can count on.
Oasis, epic sports pub, where you don't have to spend a lot to get a lot. Mike.
You fucking googly-eyed bastard. It's funny how you actually googly-eyed her Eastlink box and it's still there.
Yes!
What?
The
I
Eastlink box.
still haven't looked at that.
What? I do not notice it every time you walk in. It's staring you right in the face.
Right before you're about to walk past, like right when you're walking in that path from the front side of the house, from the street.
Yeah, the
When you're
electrical
about to walk in, it's the Eastlink box, like googly eyes and a big.
Yeah, because there's a circular hole in it, and I put two googly eyes on top of it, so it looks like it's going.
It's a very surprised Eastlink box.
That's funny.
I can't believe you didn't even see it. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Don't look at me anymore.
Oh, shit!
What are you doing?
isn't it?
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Sorry.
Don't apologize. You have a lovely voice.
Oh, fuck, that's cold. You're such an ass.
Yeah, Pat. What a dick.
He's not holding the cold bottle.
There are ice cubes in here now.
He just got a glass full of ice.
Oh. I want to take ice from here. It felt like a beer bottle. Are you just drinking straight rum?
No, it's
No.
pop in the fridge.
Oh, okay. I mean, not that it's a bad thing.
When the rum bottle's almost that empty, it doesn't click well.
I noticed. But that's okay. I don't need much. And yes. Yes, I am.
Ew, that sounds so gross.
Gotta take that back.
What?
This one.
What book is this?
It's on your shelf.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
But wouldn't it be disgusting if, like, strips the flesh fell from the sky?
That would be disgusting.
Ever see the movie Magnolia?
Oh, the frogs?
Frogs.
That was such a wicked movie.
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson. I still haven't seen The Master. I really want to.
Master.
Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix. His big return.
Phoenix is
Oh, right.
He's such a nuts actor.
Yeah, but he's the good kind of crazy. He's the Daniel Day-Lewis kind of crazy.
Yeah, not the Mel Gibson kind
The
of crazy.
kind that wins Oscars crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I hate Tom Cruise as a human being, but he makes movies that I really like to watch.
Yeah, I really like the new Mission Impossible.
I heard it was one of the better ones.
It was fucking
I haven't seen it yet.
intense.
Mission Impossible 2 was by far the worst. Mission Impossible 1 and 3 were very good.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman was in 3 as well.
Yes, he
What do you
was.
think of it?
Are we ready?
Are we
Yes,
ready?
So,
All I have to do is turn
Oh,
the
you
back
fucking douche. Sorry,
what,
yes,
what,
we're
what
ready.
are we going to talk about? Oh, this movie.
on. You're back.
And we're back watching a
Trailer.
for Kogan, or Killing Them Softly, which in development was called Kogan's Trade because it's based off of a novel called Kogan's Trade. But yeah, Andrew Dominic, fuck yeah. I just,
Brad Pitt's another guy I like.
yeah, man.
You know, like,
You put him in the right
I
movie, the
don't-
guy's got acting
yeah,
chops.
I don't care about his personal life at all.
Yeah, whatever.
Have you seen the new Chanel ad, though?
The new Chanel ad? Is Brad Pitt in a new, like, perfume ad?
It's ridiculously hilarious. You have to see it.
Maybe you can look it up for us so we can have a peek.
I would like that. Hilarious commercials are always a go for me.
That said, this week's segment
Oh,
of Why Is That a Thing? Do you want to introduce it or should I?
I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Oh, I put it on Facebook. Jesus.
Yeah, I never listen to you. Are you kidding me?
I put it on... Never mind. It's Honey Boo Boo.
Oh, I did read that.
Why the fuck?
I tried to push it to the back of my mind.
I know. Every time I see it on TV, I'm like, why? Why? Her mom is essentially this giant,
Cow?
super fat, three-chinned redneck bitch. And Honey Boo Boo is this kid that they just feed copious amounts of energy
Steady.
drinks and sugar to. And then she just says the most ridiculous things in what I'm assuming is English.
There's actually subtitles on the show, even though they're speaking English.
There
Wow.
are subtitles because they're English. It's like watching something from like a small town in Scotland. Like yes, it's English, but wow, is it ever?
It's a perversion of English.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
It's like listening to a Welshman talk. Like
Wow.
it's just hard to pick up. Like it's like, I recognize the odd word here and there, but
The closest contact I've had with Honey Boo Boo was the South Park parody that they did recently. and that was it.
Oh, yes, which I saw.
Very little frame of reference.
Basically, I didn't know what this was, so I had to look it up. But the more I looked at what it was and what the whole Here Comes Honey Boo Boo is a reality show.
It's a spin-off.
Of what?
Spin-off of?
Oh, you didn't know that. It's a spin-off
Toddlers and Tiaras, which is one of the first signs of the apocalypse.
I forgot that was a thing too. That should have been Why Is That a Thing first, and then we could have done Honey Boo Boo. But I'm more concerned with there's this kid who has a clear obesity problem. Her mother has a clear obesity problem. They're glorifying the whole thing, and on top of everything, they're being rewarded for abusing this child's health with the sugar and the energy drinks and all the
sketty.
And the what?
Oh, God.
Her favorite food. It's spaghetti with a half pound of butter and ketchup.
They make it on the show.
That's gross.
I actually feel physically ill just saying it.
That's really gross.
I know.
That is gross.
I know.
And so, why is that a thing? I don't fucking get it. Why, as a society, has anyone said, ha ha, that's entertainment? Because I'm thinking, ha ha, that's child abuse. Call the authorities.
Oh, we're going the way of the Romans.
Fuck the Romans. The Romans fucked up a lot of things. The Circus Maximus is no longer. We have
I don't know.
a lot more rules. We don't give people chains and watch them die.
Yeah, well,
We've
we
learned our
give
lesson.
them energy drinks and butter and watch them die.
But that's why. But why?
People are fascinated with this side of culture.
It's not a side of culture.
It is.
It's not.
It
That's
is.
somebody
It's
abusing a child.
But their family is what people describe as redneck. And not everyone is exposed to that every day, and so they find it entertainment.
Sadly, it is.
Stereotype.
It's a small niche of a culture. It's an offshoot of
My question
Western
is,
culture.
how does a show like Firefly get canceled and Honey Boo Boo be on TV for fucking years? How does that fucking happen? How the fuck does Toddlers and Tiaras survive as a show when Firefly, a legitimately entertaining sci-fi adventure, a western in space essentially, westerns win, space shows win. The fucking show's amazing. The fan base behind this is off the charts. Why does that not survive when fucking Toddlers and Tiara and child abuse in Honey Boo Boo and all this other shit? Why?
At this point, it's just don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Because if somebody actually gave me a legitimate answer to that question, why does that exist? I feel like it would be the single most depressing thing I've ever heard.
That's fair. But I need to know. I'm not one of those people that can live in ignorance and go,
I can respect
well, that
that
just exists.
I
guess we'll just. It's like, why? If we're not gonna go extinct as a species, we need to identify why these things are happening and stop them.
Aren't you optimistic?
I'm just
If
saying.
we're not going to go extinct as a species, whoa, okay. You can't count that out.
That's fair, but I'm just saying, if we're not going to be the reason, if we're not going to be our own reason for extinction, we have to figure these things out. Why is Honey Boo Boo a thing?
I read a news article recently that reevaluated the whole environmental thing, that essentially said that we have gone beyond the point of being able to do anything about it. That we are almost, unless technological advances catch up with the situation, that at this point we are essentially doomed as far as climate change.
And you know what? The world will go on. The world will fucking kill us all, freeze us to death, or I don't know, cook us to death, depending on which way it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure everything will get positively biblical. I'm
just saying, we will get wiped off this earth, humanity will disappear, and then Earth will turn around and start over.
I recently read a very interesting article as well about. It was a scientific explanation for the seven, or the plagues of Egypt.
Okay.
Dealing with a lot of history and meteorological aspects of the times and things like that. That essentially gave explanation to just about all of them. I don't know. I didn't really look past it. It was a post on Reddit, so I mean I didn't look too
so
far into it. But I thought,
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
well, yeah, but I thought these ideas seem somewhat legitimate. Like they are decent. I wonder how much truth there is to it, and I didn't quite get around to looking it up, but I think I might pretty soon because that's something I find really interesting. If shit like that was happening back in the day, then I mean, what's to say that it's not just the environment ravaging the shores of everything now?
Yeah, I guess what it comes down to is I don't understand how ruining someone's life, because this Honey Boo Boo kid will never be okay. She will never be okay. Even for rednecks. Even on their own scale.
Kids are pretty resilient.
She will never be okay. She's going to have issues for the rest of her life. And everybody's like, ha, that's funny. I'm like, where in society did we go wrong to get to the point where that is entertainment?
Again, Circus Maximus. Is it a step down or a step up? At least when we were watching people die for the fun of it, we weren't kidding ourselves about it.
Well, that's just it. Like, then again, there were prisoners who were being put to death anyway, so they could fight for their freedom.
And don't get me wrong, there were still people who disagreed with it even then.
Oh yeah. And you know what I mean. And I wasn't alive then, so I don't know what my opinion of it would have been at the time. I may have been for it. I don't know. I love the UFC, but then again, that's not designed for people to die.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of rules and safeguards in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
And if you want to watch people die, it's not like it doesn't happen. It's not like we don't have the internet. I watched 2 people die today. I know, ain't that fucked up?
Fox aired a live suicide on television.
Gross. Well, it wasn't just gross, but I mean, it wasn't gross because of the content. It was just gross because it actually happened. I
know, and they were like, they were basically filming a police chase, and this guy gets out of his vehicle and starts running, and the news anchor was commenting on the whole thing and saying, "Well, I'm not sure where he's going. He's running and." This, that, and the other thing, and they're just sort of running commentary on what he's doing. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he puts a gun to his head, boom, and kills himself. And the anchor's like, "Get off! Get the camera away! Get it off! Get it!"
I like the news anchor really picked it up.
Sorry for what you have just witnessed. Like, we fucked up, big time.
I think we spoke about this once actually. I
went and looked it up on YouTube.
Hard. But I was watching a video of it was a family of 5 in India who were crossing this river, this big river.
Oh, another, by the way, sorry, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Fox News aired that, but canceled Firefly. Anyway, continue.
Wow, that's
just saying.
Point. No, and it was essentially, I was watching the power of flash floods. I saw a dashboard cam of a car get hit during the Fukushima earthquake/flooding that went on. And there was a flash flood in India that swept 5 people over a waterfall, and 3 of them died. But watching this flash flood in Japan was incredible. Within 2 minutes, the car was floating with no way out, and it was just bobbing along completely at the mercy of nature. It's just terrifying. 2 minutes, you would have no time to think.
Yep, and let me tell you. You can have the safest car ever. Ain't no airbag gonna stop you when your car is floating down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Just bumping into other cars and large pieces of debris. It was crazy.
Yeah. No,
I'm glad I learned how to swim last year.
It took you till last year?
Yeah, last year. I just learned.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So this year I'm gonna likely spend a lot of time at the beach.
There's the, by the way, the advertisement for Lawless, which we saw.
Very entertaining film, I think.
We saw the pre-screen for.
We sure did. I had very many good things to say about it.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I haven't been out to the movies lately. It's Oscar season, and I'm missing out on a whole lot of movies that I really, really want to check out.
Well, you still got time.
Yeah, that's true.
A little bit.
I gotta get an Air Miles card. I was told recently that you could cash in Air Miles for movie passes, and I'm thinking, sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
There
you go. I think it's 170 something, and you can get free movie passes, and they give you concessions as well. So, get your money's worth essentially. Because really, air miles aren't going to get you far unless you're spending a whole lot of money over the course of a very long time.
In the 4 years I was in university, I made 150 air miles.
Yeah, there you go. That's you get very. That's why I never really bothered to sign up, because it really is just another.
That gets you a quarter of the way to Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's a kind of a joke, unless I mean I know some people who run a company and all of their company credit cards are air miles cards,
and that's how you do it.
Oh yeah, that's
why air miles exist.
Yeah, then you can send people on trips every year or whatever, but just having a personal air miles card is just useless.
At the Oasis, we've sent people to the Super Bowl.
Just using
on air miles.
Yeah, see, business, when you're a business, it's a bit easier. But,
yep.
Hopefully I'll make it up to The Life of Pi.
Oh, I want to see that movie.
Wonderful novel. Ang Lee is a very talented director, and I hear it's the best use of 3D since Avatar.
That's the big, big claim.
It essentially legitimizes 3D, is what some people are saying, which I think is kind of cool, considering the entire thing takes place on the sea, and the expanse of the sea is very affecting. Yeah, it causes a particular atmosphere that you don't really get anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to that. I still can't get over Honey Boo Boo. I just can't.
You're gonna be on this for a week.
Does anybody comment on?
This is gonna be the next Metro
There were some
Transit.
comments on Facebook.
It's gonna be the next Metro Transit strike, isn't it?
I just no.
Your mom said, "Why is any reality TV a thing?"
That's fair, because reality TV is anything but realistic, and that's kind of how it comes down.
Well, you put a camera in front of anybody, and they're instantly not the person that they would be without it.
Yeah, the fact that the cameras exist.
Well, yeah, you put anybody on the spot. It's like Schrodinger's cat. You change the outcome by observing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then again, I'm pretty sure she'd still be a plump little piglet. Did we not stick cameras in her house?
Yes, but she wouldn't be rewarded for being as unhealthy as she is.
She'll still be on toddlers and tiaras.
Which is the point, I guess. Yeah. I guess we should have started with why is toddlers and tiaras a thing.
Yeah.
The fact is that family is on food stamps because they spend all their money on pageants. That's why they have no money.
The family is on food stamps
because they spend their money signing up for beauty pageants. Which says to me they're not winning any.
Well, I don't even.
Some.
I don't even.
Frankly, it's not that much money.
I don't
care
imagine it would be.
If they win any. Does that matter?
I don't want to talk about Honey Boo Boo anymore.
I don't ever want to talk about Honey Boo Boo.
You're doing it
but
right
if
now.
you don't, then it keeps going.
Really, the one thing that irks me is that TLC still has the balls to call itself the Learning Channel.
Yeah.
And that's
an insult to learning.
I remember when I was a kid, that's where all the best kids shows were.
Yeah.
On TLC.
Hells yeah.
And you actually learned things.
Some Bill Nye up in that mofo.
I'm just saying. Anyway.
I tweeted about Bill Nye recently.
Did you? What did you say?
Oh, well, I was just chiming in on the whole Elmo thing.
Oh.
The boys over at Background Noise have been talking about it all week, and I think it's
Elmo,
an awful situation.
For those of you that don't know, the man who created the voice of Elmo.
He created Elmo. He plays his voice. He manipulates the puppet. Kevin Clash.
Yeah, and he's 50...
I think he's just about 50, 51 maybe.
50 or 51. He's a pedo.
No, come on. That's not fair.
He was in a relationship with...
an adult.
A 16-year-old boy.
No. That's not been substantiated at all. The first guy to accuse him, he came out and said, it was a misstep on my part. He was a younger person, but we were consenting adults. And that person withdrew his complaint.
Wouldn't be a big deal if they were consenting adults.
Well, it's not a big deal, because the guy withdrew his complaint, and it was all fine. But then someone else came out of the woodwork and said, you know what? Molested me too. Or, we had a relationship when I was underage. It's because he was in a documentary, Being Elmo. And it got huge exposure. And then all of a sudden people started coming out of the woodwork and accusing this guy who works very closely with children his entire life, who was a child entertainer, of being a pedophile. Just that accusation alone destroys a man's career. That's it. And all it takes is one person out for a money grab. And that's it. Tell me it hasn't happened before.
Yeah, that's true. But I just...
And not only are they destroying his career, but they're helping to destroy his creation, which has brought joy to more kids all across the world than almost any other single.
My nephew Mateo loves Elmo, and my sister's still trying to buy Elmo stuff for him for Christmas.
Because Elmo should transcend his creator. Elmo is a symbol now of
Elmo
learning
is a
and
character
joy.
that was created.
But no, they've taken Elmo completely off the air.
Really?
They wanted to take him out of the Macy's Day Parade. The Elmo puppet. Because his creator has been embroiled in these scandals. I mean, how far do we have to go? The second somebody gets accused, what happened to due process and innocent until proven guilty, and
that's American.
You just called him a pedophile. Like, I don't think that's fair, and it disgusts me to no end.
All the reports I've read seem to have the same. Like, there's nobody defending him in the media.
Well, who in the hell is going to come out in the popular media and defend someone who's accused of being a pedophile? Nobody.
I guess we'll see.
How many people demonized Michael Jackson?
There will probably... Well...
How many people demonized Michael Jackson before he was deemed innocent by a court of law?
Was he deemed fully innocent?
He was.
Yeah.
Fully?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What his problem was that he was he was socialized like a child. He didn't have the chance to grow up. And Kevin Clash has worked so closely with children over years. He understands children on an empathic level, and a lot of the times those close relationships can be misconstrued by people who don't find it to be normal. People who have lost their inner child, who just
There's validity to what you're saying, for sure.
I know there is.
I know.
Yeah, I don't need you to tell me I'm right. But honestly, I just find it horribly depressing. Because I fucking love Elmo. I grew up watching Sesame Street for years, and I didn't even know who the man was. Kevin Clash.
Yeah,
Never.
frankly, no kid is going to know who the hell he is.
No.
It's not going to affect how they see Elmo, so I don't understand.
And now adults want to take Elmo out of the Macy's Day Parade because their children are going to see him, when they, in reality, have absolutely no fucking idea who Kevin Clash is.
Remember a couple of years ago when Bert and Ernie... Bert and Ernie are gay?
I don't think they ever really confirmed that.
They did.
Really?
The guy that created... They had Bert and Ernie... They were doing some sort of promotional thing, and some kid was like, how come these two men live together? And instead of saying they're roommates because they have separate beds, the guy goes, well, sometimes men love other men, and made it all complicated. And it's like, if you're trying to make a point and win points for
that's not not complicated at all.
But if you want to win points for the whole gay rights movement, that's cool. That's a good way to go, I guess.
Absolutely.
Explain to kids that it's okay to be gay. But the guy he did it of his own accord. It wasn't like... It wasn't the Sesame Street, let's do this. That's the backstory if anybody asks. We'll educate kids about this. He just did it, and they were like, I guess we're going to go with it.
Well, no, but that's the thing. I think he did it subtly. I mean, they did it subtly on Sesame Street, but when he was confronted with it outside of that situation, he spoke honestly about it. Because on TV, you can't speak honestly about things like that because people still have sticks up their ass. People are still fucking ignorant.
But I mean, there have been gay characters on TV that people have loved and then been like, I hate gays.
Yeah, but
I love Snaggletooth. It's
but not children's shows.
That's stage right. Give me a break. That is the gayest character ever. And it was specifically gay.
But he was never sexualized, though.
No, that's fair. That said...
Romney has said that his favorite character on, what's that show? Sitcom. Families. Oh, it's just gone from my head.
Mitt Romney. Characters, families.
I don't listen to anything that man says.
Sitcom.
look it up in a second. Finish.
The Odd Couple?
No, it's a recent sitcom. It's documentary style. I don't know.
Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Come on, Emily, you're killing us here.
Thank you. Anyway, Mitt Romney said that his favorite character on Modern Family is one of the gay dads.
Yeah.
But he turns around and then says gay marriage is horrible and against the Bible.
Well, Mitt Romney...
Yeah, but Modern Family is a fictional TV show.
That's true. And Mitt Romney's an idiot.
Yeah.
But it's just...
he couldn't find his own ass in the dark with a map.
According to a statement by Sesame Workshop last year, Bert and Ernie are just best friends. There wasn't an official statement to say that they were.
Bam. Knew it.
Okay, fair enough. But this guy who basically is one of the puppeteers or whatever of Bert and Ernie, he that's what they explained to these kids, and it became this big scandal.
And I think that's fine.
I think that's fine too if you stick to your guns. But if the show turns around and goes, no, that's not true at all. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Because I mean,
like, you're creating more fear about homophobia.
If a little kid was
people,
if
Elmo is not a pedophile.
No, see,
we never said Elmo was a pedophile.
Exactly.
That's never.
And I've never said Kevin Clash is a pedophile. But I think the big thing we talked about Elmo being a symbol, more a fictional character, someone who is just should be completely outside of this scandal. But it's adults again projecting their insecurities onto their children, which happens all the time. Just like the man who told that kid of his own accord that sometimes men love other men. If some little kid asked me, if I'm standing there in a crowd of strangers and something's happening and there's a crowd of people watching something and some kid tugged on my shirt and was like, why are those people doing that? And I had to kneel down and say, well, listen, little dude, sometimes men love other men like men love women. That I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if one of their parents was there, they'd fucking lose their shit. Absolutely. And that's why this can't be on television. Because people will lose it. And it's just adults projecting their insecurities on children and creating these social problems where there are none. Happens all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Yep, and then politics grabs a hold of them, scandalizes them even more. And the media fucking blows it up.
Politicians are stupid. Remember the guy that said, if a girl is legitimately raped...
I sure do.
The girl's body has a way of shutting that thing down. Meaning that won't... The baby won't happen or something. Oh. It's like, you haven't been to a doctor in a while.
Since the 1840s.
Victims of legitimate rape.
First of all, what the fuck
can't
is
get pregnant.
Rape?
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion.
That was the whole other side of the coin. But the part that made it funny to me, and the part that a lot of people just ignored, was the body has a way to so if you're raped, your body knows the difference.
Apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, to these
people...
No,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
To these people...
No, it doesn't.
I mean, again, people talk about perpetuating rape culture and things like that. And nobody ever talks about politicians being the ones perpetuating rape culture. They talk about, bro dudes or things in the media on sitcoms, skewing gender roles as perpetuating rape culture. When you've got these people straight up looking you in the face, the people who are completely in charge of your government telling you that if you're raped and get pregnant, that you wanted to get raped the entire time. That's fucking awful.
Politicians are stupid most of the time because they always want to be the most popular person, so they say whatever they think is the most popular thing, and then when they go, I didn't word that properly. What I meant was rape is bad.
Or they just dance around it and change their opinions as it suits them. I think Mitt Romney was the epitome of that.
And that's why that's the thing. The better you are at hiding your lies, the more success you will have as a politician. He almost got elected president by lying through his teeth for a very long time.
Yeah, but the thing about that was he wasn't very good at concealing his lies. Not at all.
Yeah, well, that's the...
By the end of the campaign, people were just like, he lied about this, and he's been doing it for weeks, and we pointed it out weeks ago. What the fuck? At least change it up a little.
I love during the debate when he's, spouting lies left, right, and center. And then Obama gets up and says a bunch of things, and I'm sure that some of the things he was saying were spinned truths and not quite accurate and blah, blah, blah. That's the politician game, right? That's how it is. What Obama likes to do, though, is make sure he's not lying by just not talking about whatever the question was. He'll, almost defer the question and then tell a story that has something to do with it. And, it's this really nice positive outcome. And then at the end of the day, he didn't actually answer the question.
It's classic misdirection.
That's what he does. He doesn't actually lie. He avoids telling you his opinion. That's different, which is still a form of lying, I'm sure. But
arguably. The
point is, Mitt Romney calls him out and he goes, well, you said da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, no, I never did. He goes, well, wait, what? And he goes, I'd like to talk about this for a second and the thing you said about this. And Barack goes, go ahead. I'd like to know where you're going with this. Mitt goes on a 5-10 minute rant, and then Romney's entire argument was, can we check the record from last night and see what it was that I actually said? And they read back the transcript from the night before, and he's like, okay then. And that was his whole point. To rebuke 10 minutes worth of Mitt Romney spewing shit. He was like, what did I actually say? And it was pretty much exactly what Romney was trying to say. You didn't say this, but you should have said this. And it turned out that was actually what he said.
Yeah. See, that doesn't surprise me at all. This is why I don't follow politics anymore.
That was funny. I don't follow politics, but that was funny.
No, I mean, I read the news. Well, yeah, I mean, because I work at a job where I really have nothing better to do most of the time. But, it's mostly depressing. I really need a new TV to play video games, although I know that is definitely
I have a good TV
bad
for video
idea.
Games.
I know. I want to play the new Hitman game, though. I really, really do.
Yeah, you got no takers on that.
I know.
I know you posted about that.
I love the old Hitman games. And this one it's kind of an update of the Hitman games. They added... Did you play the Batman games at all? Arkham Asylum and Arkham City?
No.
Jesus, you're missing out.
No. I'm a first-person person. Third-person...
You're a first person?
Yeah. Third-person games, they don't do it for me. With the exception of Gears of War. That was just such an amazingly told story. I couldn't help but want to know more about the story. Batman is Batman. I know a lot of the stories of Batman. There's a bunch of different versions of it. Blah, blah, blah. Batman is always going to be Batman, and I love Batman, but third person, I just couldn't deal with it enough to follow the stories.
I don't see why. I have no idea why that would even concern you whatsoever.
Well, I'm a story-driven gamer. I care
you play
a lot.
The Halo series and first-person shooters. That is the most backwards thing I've ever heard you say.
The Rainbow Six storyline is actually really good, and it's well put together.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
and
it's based off of a series of books by
Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're all right. I mean, beats the shit out of the Call of Duty series, I guess.
Well, yeah, for storyline, for sure. There's a lot of people that prefer the gameplay of Call of Duty. I'm not one of those people, but I think Call of Duty is more popular.
So you won't play third person games because
unless I get engrossed in the story.
So you like because
I'll
you
play
like the storyline.
Yeah.
So you haven't played the Uncharted series.
I played the first Uncharted. I played and beat that one. That was really awesome. I haven't played the second two just because I never played the PlayStation.
They're fucking outstanding.
I know. I've never played the... I have the Xbox and the PlayStation. I never use the PlayStation almost
and
ever.
The Batman games, uniquely written storylines for each one of them.
That's what I mean. But they're stories that have been in comics before.
Hitman games?
They take a twist.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, any comic book story is just
that's the other thing, is a Hitman is a third-person thing, right? So.
Yeah, I know, but great story. They have a whole... It was one of the first, stealth action games.
And that's the other thing is I have Quantum of Solace for the PS3.
That's
the Bond game.
Completely different as well.
Third person.
Shitty story.
Yeah, fair. But I just...
I'll open your eyes when you have Assassin's Creed right there in front of you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was all right.
That was a great story.
That was all right.
I didn't play the second or third one.
Yeah.
But
so
I
apparently it didn't get you off.
It got me to the point where I finished the game. Like I did beat the storyline.
But it didn't interest you enough to follow the series.
Well, because the ending of Assassin's Creed pissed me off.
Oh.
Because it literally just ended.
Well, yeah, because they were setting up a sequel.
But they didn't. They were building something throughout the whole first game, and then they didn't even give you a tidbit. They gave you nothing at the end for playing through the whole game. They gave you nothing.
Huh.
And I was pissed. I was like, I did all of this work to find out what this was about, and all you gave me was there were voices down the hall.
Well, one of these days we'll sit down, we'll play something. There were some big deals on Madden 2013.
I haven't played a sports game on a console since NHL 2K5.
I played a lot of 2K, or no, it was 2011,
NHL.
I think. NHL 2011 with my buddy Dan in my last apartment. We played a ton of it. And I love sports games. I mean, at least they have some replayability, and I mean, they're fun for like a half hour's worth of gameplay, and then you can just turn it off kind of thing. You know, it's not a big deal. But yeah, we'll have to get into some of that. I don't know what's up later. I think I'm supposed to head to the Carlton later for a show. A friend of mine, Dan Haig, has got a couple of tickets to a band playing there. I can't remember.
Later? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think tonight, but I gotta edit that thing.
Yeah.
So much work. So little time.
Always.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But we're pretty much coming up on the end of our hour.
Yeah. It's been a lazy Sunday.
It has been a lazy Sunday. I spent a lot of this weekend hungover.
Oh, muffins. Muffins.
Today notwithstanding, although this morning was the morning I caught up on all my sleep from the weekend that I didn't get.
I have yet to do any of that.
I slept into 1 o'clock today.
Oh.
Nice.
It was fantastic.
Bastard.
Well, it was like 12:30, but still counts. It's good times. But yeah, follow us online, guys. Twitter.
Yeah, Pat King HFX on Twitter.
Mark Adam HFX on Twitter. Our controller Emily. MJ_979 on Twitter.
Don't act like you can't remember it.
No, I can totally remember it. I'm just like, why do I have to remember this? Anyway, find the show is actually It's On Halifax on Twitter, all one word, very easy. Facebook.com/It's On Halifax, very simple. And It's On Halifax.ca.
Hooray!
Hooray! We're at .ca. Join us. It's fun times. So we'll see you on the internets. Make sure to rate and comment if you're doing this through iTunes, because that really helps us out. As well as make sure that if you have questions, if you have comments, if you find things online that are really odd, weird, different, share them with us, especially if they're Halifax related.
Oh, absolutely.
But even in general, we like seeing weird, different things that we can make fun of.
Especially around Halifax.
Especially around Halifax. Honey Boo Boo's not from here, but
no,
God, that needed to be discussed.
Well, enjoy the rest. Enjoy the coming week, everybody, and we'll talk to you again.
Yeah. See you later.
This episode of It's On Halifax was brought to you by A2 Canada and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.